On activity 2, we learn about how to make a force diagram. Force diagrams are composed of two things. Number one, a force arrow. A force arrow is just an arrow that tells you two things: the direction of the force and the strength of the force. Now, students usually confuse the force arrow with a motion arrow. They're two different things. The force arrow tells you the direction of the force, not the direction of the motion. The second thing in the energy, not the energy diagram, in the force diagram is a statement. The statement says, force exerted by blank on blank. Now, you may have no idea of what I'm talking about, but I'm going to give you an example. Let's say that a student is running. A student is running and there's a wind blowing against him. So I'm going to draw the force diagram. First of all, I'm going to draw the student running. Okay? And then, it's beautiful, right? Then I'm going to draw the force arrow. The force, the student is running forward, but the arrow has to be pointing backward because the wind is blowing against him. So the direction of the force is backward, not forward. The other thing is the statement. You have to write force exerted by wind on a child. So there you have your force diagram. Force exerted by wind on child. You are identifying the source of the force, which is the wind, and you have in the force diagram you have the arrow pointing to the direction of the force. Now, let me draw two different arrows. This is arrow A and arrow B. Which one represents a stronger force? Is it A or B? If you said B, you're right, because the length of the arrow tells you the strength of the force. A, B, C. Which one represents a force to the right? Well, actually, to the right. This will be a force exerted to the right. These two will be represent a force exerted to the left. So that's how you do a force diagram. A force diagram is composed of an arrow. The arrow tells you the direction of the force and the strength of the force, if you compare it with another arrow. And it also tells you the source of the force. Force exerted by the wind on the child.